Hey guys, it's Deborah. I just had to film something super quick. I'm in my car and I was driving around and it's just like something hit me. So I was thinking about the mark of the beast and the tribulation and the Jews. And somebody I was just listening to was talking about how the Jews won't worship the Antichrist. Now, it's like, I don't know why this just hit me. Okay, think about this. The Jews can't take the mark of the beast or they will be doomed to hell. So if they're in cahoots with the Antichrist, they would have to take the mark of the beast. But they can't. So I was just thinking about it. I was like, wait a minute. That proves that the mark does not come until after he sits in the temple declaring himself God and the abomination of desolation happens, because then is when he turns on them. Now, I don't believe they're worshiping him or anything. And the guy I was listening to, I really like and respect. And he's like, I don't know why people think that they, that the Jews will worship the Antichrist or whatever. I don't think it's that they worship him. I think it's that he makes a covenant with many and they're included. They just, agree to whatever his terms are. It's like the peace plan. They've agreed to that. So it's not that they're worshiping him. Because this guy was like, I don't like how Christians say that the Jews are going to worship the Antichrist. So I've never said they'll worship him. I hope I haven't. If I have, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. But this fits perfectly in line with my idea when I said the overcomers rise first and then there's a rapture at seal 6. Like, it fits perfectly because if you look at the seal 6 group, it says, the big, large group that no man can number. And it says he'll wipe every tear from their eyes. They don't have crowns on their head, but they have palms and they have white robes. And he said they will neither thirst or hunger anymore. And it's like they've been through something more. But before that happens, you see the child is caught up in Revelation 12. And in heaven, you have the 24 elders who do have crowns on their head and they lay them at the feet. And that is before the seals are open, okay? So then, say this is the case, say I'm right, then you have 3.5 years of the majority of the church still on earth going through it, and they go to the 1,200, and I don't believe if it was 60 days or 90 days, but the first 3.5 years. Then and the Jews are in agreement, but they don't take the mark of the beast because it's not there yet. Because the big thing is, these saints that are raptured at seal 6, and when John says, I see this huge number that no man can number of every tribe, tongue, and nation, and they are standing there with palms, but they don't have crowns on their head. Okay, that's why I believe the crowning ceremony already happened. But the point is, I was like, do these people go through the mark of the beast? No, they don't. They just go through hard times for 3.5 years, like really bad natural disasters and whatever else happens. So they don't escape the whole thing, but they come up at seal 6. I thought it was just, at the beginning, everybody goes up. There's nobody else. And people are like, there's tribulation saints. These aren't necessarily tribulation saints. They are, but they're the first 3.5 years. Just read Revelation. It says it's seal 6. There's a big group. No one can number. Seal 6. Okay. I don't know how to get around that. But anyway, back to my point. The Jews the mark of the beast can't have been rolled out yet because they would if they're in cahoots with him, he's not going to let them have their temple and do all their thing, and yet they won't take his mark. How would they eat? So he couldn't have rolled it out yet. He rolls it out. He must roll it out after they flee and he turns on them. And then it's the last 3.5 years. Those last 3.5 years are the 42 months that he's given, and then it says, okay, so then after the seal 6, those saints go up, you have another group of saints who you see the souls under the altar, and they say, how long, and John says, who are they? Like, how long till we're redeemed or whatever? And John says, who are these ones? And then, either, I think it was the 24 elders, or it could have been, I don't know who tells John, but basically that he's told that they are those, have been beheaded and who for not taking the mark. Those are the ones who didn't go in that second group. So there's that first overcomers who go up before the seals are open. Then there's the ones at seal 6 who, they go through a lot of tribulation, but they don't go through the mark of the beast. Then you have the souls under the altar saying, how long till we're, justified? And those are the ones that it said we're beheaded for the mark of the beast. It didn't say that large group is beheaded. It didn't say that. They were raptured, clearly. They lived. And that's why it just hit me that the Jews They can't take the mark. If they take the mark, they will go to hell forever. So clearly, and we know when Jesus comes back the second time, they believe on him and then it works out or whatever. So they flee to the wilderness. So in that time period, that's where they live, escaping this whole mark time. And then finally at the end, they see Jesus and then they believe. But the point is, it proves to me that the mark of the beast does not come until after the first half of the tribulation. Maybe everybody knew this. But I just think I don't know why it came to me that the Jews cannot take the mark. If they take the mark, they would be doomed forever. So they obviously, even though they make agreement with him and a covenant with many, with him, the mark of the beast cannot be rolled out. Because if it was, like I said, if it was rolled out and they said, oh, we're not taking it, but we'll make this covenant with you for 7 years. No, he's going to be like, no, everybody has to take the mark. That shows the mark does not come till 3.5 years in. The Antichrist is only given 42 months. The first 3.5 years are bad because of, read from seal 1 to seal 6, seal 1 to 5. It's all this stuff happens on the earth. It's going to be horrible. And Christians will be in it, but most of them will live. Some will die, I'm sure, of natural disasters and other things, but it's not about the mark of the beast. And then they get raptured, you see at seal 6, and then they are standing there, a big, huge group with palms and white robes. And then you see the Antichrist sits and he declares himself God and he's given those 42 months. And then the mark of the beast is rolled out and then many Christian people believe after that. Then there's Christians who turn or people who become Christians. And then they do have to be beheaded because it gets even worse every time they miss a rapture. And then after that, and then during that time is when the Jews run. So they don't take the mark, because if they took the mark, they would not get to go to heaven, because nobody who takes the mark can ever go to heaven. I don't know why that just hit me, but it just hit me. I hope this blessed you guys, because it just kind of gives out a timeline where we're at, and we're so close to that the baby being born and the catching up and the crowning ceremony and everything. So pray that you're accounted worthy. That's what the Bible says, to pray you're accounted worthy, to escape all that is coming upon the world. You don't want to escape some of it. You want to escape all of it. But if you did not make it to the first rapture, the second one at seal 6, you don't have to face the mark of the beast, but you do have to face all of seals 1 through 5. And then if you don't make it on that one, you have to face the mark of the beast, and you will not be fleeing to the wilderness because you're not a Jew, most likely. So anyway, I thought that was so crazy and amazing. So I hope that blessed you guys. And yeah, I have other things I'm supposed to be doing today, so I'm just running around, but I just had to stop to really just say that for you guys. So I will talk to you again soon. God bless and shalom. Okay, I just wanted to put a little disclaimer here, because I got home and I re-listened to the video that I made while I was posting it, and I was like, okay, I just want to say, I'm not saying I'm 100% right about everything. That's my disclaimer. I can be wrong. I'm probably not, but I can be wrong. And that's my disclaimer. There's certain things God shows me that I'm not saying wrong about everything. There's certain things he showed me that I have to just stand on, that he showed me. Sorry, that's an alarm. That I have to stand on, that he shows me. But then there's other things that I'm not 100% sure. The only thing so I'm standing on what he showed me about the overcomers. But I'm going to say, I could be wrong about other stuff in here, and about the Jews not taking the mark. I just want to reiterate that the whole point of this video is to say that it's all of a sudden it just hit me that it makes no sense that they would ever take the mark, because when we come back with him, the second coming, when Jesus comes back riding the white horse and we come behind him on white horses, the Jews believe, I'm not saying every Jewish person anywhere, but the ones who fled and stuff, they will see him, and I believe they will believe on him. And so those ones could never receive the mark, because if they believed, they saw him coming back and they believed, they wouldn't be able to go to heaven, because no one takes the mark and go to heaven. So how is it that the Jews can go through the whole tribulation and not take the mark? The only way that I can see possible is that for the first 3.5 years, he doesn't roll it out, because remember, initially for 1 week, 7 years, he makes a covenant. He's not going to make a covenant with people who refuse to take his mark. But if that's not part of the stipulation for 3.5 years, that makes sense, because then they say, they don't take it and he doesn't make them. And then 3.5 years in, He does make everybody, but by that point, he's already turned on them. That doesn't mean they worship him or anything like that. That just means he's made a covenant with them and with many. And at that point, no, they still won't take it, because then he's calling himself God in the temple. So at that point, when he's forcing it, they wouldn't take it, because he's saying, I am God. And then they're like, no, you're not. Then they flee. And then he forces everyone after that point to take it. So to me, this just makes logical sense. I'm not saying I was shown by the Holy Spirit, but it kind of, I think I might have been, because it was so random. It was literally it. I was driving and that thought hit me. Does that make any sense? No, to just have that thought hit you. So it does feel like it was. Just a disclaimer that I could be wrong about things. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just re-listened to it and I was like, I hope I made myself clear about these Jews not taking the mark, and not every single Jewish person, I mean, but you know what I mean. This all makes sense, and I hope that made sense to you guys. And yeah, times are crazy, guys. I know. Trust me, I know. I have more things to talk to you about soon. Just yeah, let's keep praying for one another. So anyway, I will talk to you, yeah, shortly. And I hope you have a blessed day or evening. God bless and shalom.